Well, I just got back home. It is 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock today. Teachers are on strike, so the kids are home. They come into the farm with Amy and I today. It was a good day. Track was great. Now, it was snowy. Snow-covered track, so I say this all the time. It just is the way it is. The ones with flip-flops and razor pads, we're going to struggle a little bit today. Not much you can do about that. Overall, just a great day. A couple of horses that really caught my eye. A couple of horses that really stood out. Some horses that I'm going to get behind. Some horses that I'm going to talk about today. Probably for the first time, at least two of them. Three of them. The horses that are 1, 2, 3 today. I don't think I've talked about one of them for sure. I'm going to give him number one only because I went with him and I know how talented he felt. And I know we were flying the last 3/8. And this colt looked very, very good. A pacer. A couple of pacers jumped up today. Some trotters held their own. Now, there were some horses that made breaks today. One My Heart Hanover made a break today in the last turn. She was good. Problem with her is she wants to attack. She loves her work and she wants to attack. So I purposely sat in. Then around the last turn, Steve had made a break with I'm a Lovely Lady. We'll talk about her in a minute. She made a break and was closing in on the leaders, and I slid out onto her back, and the little filly, One My Heart Hanover, wanted to get right at her right now, and just lost her footing just for a sec on the snowy track and made a break, come right up trotting, ended up flying at the wire, after the wire, into the turn, took over the lead and drove away. But make no mistake, I'm a Lovely Lady was good. Anyway, there's some notables. We'll talk about the notables first, I guess. Horses that didn't make the top 10. Now, Eternity Road, there was a little interference caused today. Disco had made a break. I don't know how you make a break. It's Snowbank's fault. You get an SX, I guess. Snowbank break. Philly just veered sideways, and this track with the snow was soft. If it had been hard, it could have been bad. That's the problem. When you push that snow in, it creates a 2-foot wall. Now the snow is great day. It's powdery, so it wasn't a big deal. But on a day where that could get a little ice covered and hard, it can get pretty treacherous. So you got to watch where you're going. And Disco's horse shied sideways and actually dumped him out of the jog cart for a second as she slowed down. It wasn't a big deal, but he did apparently interfered with War We Welcome and Eternity Road, two of our best horses. So they didn't make the top 10 list today because they made breaks, and I didn't see them afterwards. There were a couple of horses on here that made breaks and recovered very, very well from those breaks. So we'll start from the top. From the first part of the sets. First Glance was great today. Roy Hill was great today. Gray is a New... These aren't on the top 10 list, and they were very good. Gray is a New Red was good today. War We Welcome recovered well, but still finished back. She got interfered with. Walk on the Moon was fantastic. Fairly Fringes was good. One My Heart Hanover. Tipsy and Dixie. So I made an equipment change on the track with her, and she didn't like it. It helped her, but she didn't like it. She's a little stubborn to start with. So she ran for a little bit and then come right up trotting and was flying. Now, Can't Deny My Spirit, I hit her a little swat with the whip, and when I did, I scared Can't Deny My Spirit, who was beside me, and he's coming off getting castrated, so this was his first fast mile. We were both well back. Now, Jacques Suave, gentleman that rides for us, he was going with a number of horses today, and he had said after, he said, I trotted my last half in 1:12. Behind me, trying to catch me with Can't Deny My Spirit, I had Tipsy and Dixie, so I come half in 11, and she was very, very good after I got her sorted away during the mile. Can't Deny My Spirit, as I just said, was very good also. Who else do we got on here that was good that didn't make the list? Adrenaline Rush. So it's really starting to come on. You still got to chase him, but he's happy. You know, James had to get after him a little bit today, but he'll do his work, and he's happy. And when he's asked to finish his work off, he does. Now, his sister, Miss Brampton Beast, she looked like a killer all year, but when she got right in the thick of things in the stakes season, she kind of hung a little bit, right? We know that. I mean, if she made 35 or 40,000, she should have 75 on her card minimum. She cost herself some money. Now, this guy, her brother, a little bit lazy, but when you ask him to finish it off, he does. So maybe a little bit of the flip side of that coin. You got to take some and give some, and I'm happy with what I've seen. If you'd asked me a month ago, Adrenaline Rush would have been upsetting, but I'm happy with what I've seen so far with him. And then another horse, Can't Muscle Me. She made a little break in the turn. She's a little susceptible in that turn up by the road. She just rolled off for a step, come back trotting, won a big last half, and then finished her mile off well. I was happy with her. Those horses didn't make the top 10 list. First Glance, Roy Hill, Grey is the New Red, War We Welcome, Walk on the Moon, Eternity Road, Furley Fringes, Won My Heart, Hanover, Tipsy and Dixie, Can't Deny My Spirit, Adrenaline Rush and Can't Muscle Me didn't make the top 10. Now I am going to give you a top 10 list. Amy points out all the time, why do you start with number 1? I guess you're probably right. So we'll start with number 10. Number 10, now take note. You guys will see this hopefully on Friday. If you were there today, you would have. Sometimes when we give the horses some time off and back off with them, doesn't mean they can't catch up and doesn't mean they can't look good. Fox Valley Britska won his first ever training set today. He was in with some okay horses and did it well. 235. I told everybody I wanted to go from 235 to 245. Gave everybody a big window to hit. That's a big target to hit. 10 seconds is what? 50 lengths. Can't hit that, you're an idiot. So we gave everybody a pretty wide berth today. Just said 235 to 245. Easiest way to accomplish that on a half-mile track. Get over the half in 22. You can't possibly go faster than 35 on a snowy track if you're over the first half in 22. It's impossible. It should be. I mean, you may have a real fast horse, but at the same time, you should be safe if you do that. Everybody was inside the window today and did very well. But Fox Valley Britska is a horse we backed off with. His knees were hurting him. We had to simply slow down with him. We stopped with him for 3 or 4 weeks, started him back up. Fantastic today. James did a great job with Fox Valley Britska today. He was a winner in exactly 235. And looked very, very good doing it. I was very impressed with what I saw from Fox Valley Britska. Number 9 was Tipsy and Dixie. Now, I tried to put the winners on here first. All the horses that won races, training sets today, they're on this list. But there were some horses that were impressive. Tipsy and Dixie come in last half and 111. It's very hard to do over that track and was very impressive. She fell short of a horse that's just a little bit ahead of her. We'll talk about her in a minute. But Tipsy and Dixie was closing in and looked very, very good on the track today. Had to put her on the list at number 9. A horse that has never made any list before. War We Was Up. That's right, Margot. War We Was Up. Him and Adrenaline Rush are completely lazy, but not sour. Just lazy, and they'll do their work when you make them. One was a set winner today. Another horse made it on here. No, Adrenaline Rush. Oh, no, War We Was Up. Right, I'm sorry. Adrenaline Rush I knew did not make the list because he was 3rd, but War We Was Up won his set and looked good on the front end with an open bridle on. War We Was Up was good today. 237. Looked good doing it. Number 7 on the list is... Where are you at, number 7? Holy Chick. Now, Holy Chick would have been much higher. She got photoed out. I just beat her at the wire by a filly I'll talk about in just a minute. But listen, Holy Chick is perfect. She does everything right. She understands her job. Steve was way back with her, and we were just starting to trot, and I looked in my rearview mirror there, looked over my shoulder, and here she come out of the backfield. Holy Chick, 3 wide, getting into the last turn. Now, the only mistake Steve made was, and it was good that he did it, the filly, I'm going to talk about in a minute, was on the front end, a little susceptible in the turns, a little weak, a little have to watch her in the turns. We removed a pile of weight from her this morning up front, so I just had to steady her in the turns, and he let Holy Chick roll up alongside, and then he stopped her to let her sit beside me, because Holy Chick had lots left, but so did I. We come out of the turn, and I put my filly in gear, and I just held on to beat him, but Holy Chick is ultra impressive. You're going to see Holy Chick near the top, I think. I would be surprised if she didn't make the top 10 list right through. This is a filly that does everything right. Just a really nice filly. Holy Chick was awesome today. Who else we got here? Number 6, Miss Meringue. There's been a lot of people waiting to hear this name on the list. Miss Meringue was very good today. She was one that beat me with Tipsy and Dixie when I was coming from last. And Steve Labonte went with Miss Meringue. She's getting better every time we put her on the track. She's getting comfortable now. Before, she was a little cranky. You didn't watch her in the turns. You didn't watch her in the turns, say you cut her loose in the last turn. We were trotting through the turn over by the road as hard as we were finishing up and into the backstretch. She was fantastic today, and really happy to see Miss Meringue coming into her own. Steve did a good job with her today. She looked fantastic. Easily number 6, and a lot of people are happy to hear that. That was the most expensive horse we bought all year, I think, was Miss Meringue. And I'm happy we did it. She looks the part, and I can't wait to see her train down the rest of the season. Number 5 is the filly I was talking about that held on. So let me set the table for you. I got back from our vacation. Now the last training day, That's My Girl was a little weak. I didn't like how she looked, and I was hoping she was just a little under the weather. Maybe she'd bounce back. I got home. How'd everybody train? Nobody was bad, but when I asked about That's My Girl with Danny, he said, she was okay. This is a filly I compared to War We Welcome not 3 weeks ago. How good she looked, how powerful her gait was, how comfortable she was on the track, how much I liked her. So I was a little surprised. I said, hold on, what do you mean meh? What do you mean she's okay? He said, she was a little flat the other day. Okay, so I go with her yesterday. She made a little break. She was acting up. You could tell she was interfering. We come off the track, and she had drawn a little blood on her ankle. So we took all the weight off her up front. She needed a lot of weight to get gated. We took it all off her. All she had on was a set of trotting shoes and bell boots today. Took the toe weights off her. Took the other set of bell boots off her. Had nothing on her other than a set of bell boots and shoes. I didn't know how she'd be. I got away in the 2-hole. Danny was on the front end with whoever he had. I probably should know this. I have Amy's phone here because I didn't want to write down all the sets. Danny was on the front end with Northern Blizzard, who also was very good. He didn't make the also eligible list. He should have. He was good. Is this the right set? No, it's not. Here it is here. That's not. Anyway, whatever. Danny was on the front end with the horse. He was, I know why I don't see her. Because she was a late addition. We had a couple, I had made mistakes. When I counted the horses last night, I knew how many weren't going. Obviously subtracted that from 65, and it equaled the amount of horses I had. Problem was, I had 2 double booked. So I was missing 2 horses. We added Darling Please later, who ended up being a little sick today. She didn't train good, and she probably isn't going to train on Friday. We have a couple of scratches on Friday's drone session already. I'm going to give to you in a minute. But My Girl, That's My Girl, was on the front end as Danny made a break on the front end with Rose Run, Why Not? Again, flip-flops on the snow. Give her some space. She's all right. And then Mario inherited the lead with Italian Grit. Now, Italian Grit, study. He's a scratch for Friday because he's getting castrated tomorrow. But Italian Grit looked good trotting on the front, but you could see he was lost. So I looped out around him real quick with That's My Girl. I'm on the front. I go half in 124. 124 because I know there's a bunch of Bearcats in behind me. You know, Adrenaline Rush is a pacer in with the trotters. He's in behind me. Holy Chick I know is going to be coming. Sweet Ambition's in there. Stacy Hanover was in there, and Amy was going with Stacy Hanover. I look over as we start into the backstretch. Here comes Stacy Hanover. Holy Chick's right behind her. I'm like, oh goodness. So we're getting into the last turn. I put her in gear down the backstretch in the straight, and she was awesome. Getting into the last turn, you can feel she's smart, this filly. The smart ones understand they can't trot the same speed into that turn for the most part. Some of them can, most of them can't. I could see her throttling herself back and trying to, for those of you who train, you understand probably what I'm talking about. You can see her trying to set herself up for the turn. We trot into the turn. Now, Holy Chick's come from the backfield 100. And if he had kept sailing, he's gone. He's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. But he sat beside me, which is what he's supposed to do. And I think Steve was ultimately confident that when we straightened up, he was just going to trot away from me. But I knew that That's My Girl was loaded. She was great today. We started into the stretch. Holy Chick took the lead by a nose, and I tapped her on the tail. Boom! She was gone again. Horse on the outside, Stacy Hanover was flying, but Amy was trying to hold her together. She's a little rolly. Stacy Hanover's got a lot of muscle to put on, and in the straightaways, down the stretches where you got to watch her sometimes, she put a step in, and right before the wire made a break. Amy thought she was going to beat us, but I didn't think that. Doesn't matter. She didn't. She made a break and finished third. I just nosed out Holy Chick at the wire, and it was fantastic. Both those fillies were tremendous today. Adrenaline Rush come charging through the middle at the wire. You might say to yourself, well, he's a pacer. That doesn't matter this time of year, pacer, trotter. You guys remember back last year, the year before, the trotters were beating up on the pacers all winter long because the pacers, it's not the gait they're bred to do, but our trotters, it seems, get it right away, especially when we have hobbles on some of them. We have them all hung up and ready to go. The trotters seem to be able to do as much or more. Our best horses right now, our flashiest, fastest horses right now, 5 trotters. I know who they are. and the 5 that are in a set. So Adrenaline Rush was flying at the wire. Amy was on a break and looked great too. But Stacy Hanover's not on here. That's not very nice. Can add Stacy Hanover to the also ran list. She trained very, very good today. So I hung on with That's My Girl to beat out Holy Chick and Steve. James was coming with Adrenaline Rush. Amy had just made a little break with Stacy Hanover. So number 4, So Admirable. Now, I didn't get to see the finish of this set because I was going with Darling Please, who made a little break. I was at the back trying to sort her out, and they were way ahead. I couldn't tell if So Admirable won or First Glance. I think So Admirable did, but I put First Glance on the also. You can switch them out if you want. So both those horses were fantastic today. So Admirable is coming around, looked great. James made a few little equipment changes when I was gone away, and he said she's tremendous now. And First Glance has been fantastic from day one. He looked very, very good again today. Number 3, now pay attention. 2 of these 3 horses are going to shock you a little bit. Remember, Eternity Road won My Heart Hanover. These horses didn't make the list today. They made a break. Number 3, Surreal Love. This is a horse. They told me, he's on a line. He was making breaks. He's doing this. He's doing that. I went with him last week. Yeah, he's running in a little bit. Yeah, he's running out a little bit. Probably a little sore. He's got a beautiful gait, but he lands on the track a little hard. So I was assuming today also that snowy track would probably help Surreal Love. Sure enough, I busted him over the front. I get over the half slow. I waited. He's so handy. I waited and waited and waited. And when I put him in gear in the last turn, I knew there was nobody going to catch this horse. He was tremendous today. Very, very happy with Surreal Love. Why was I so happy? It wasn't that we went super fast. We went 37, I think, 36. But he controlled the training set, and he was attentive. It was almost like some of the horses you can tell when horses start out of the backstretch, I can hear the change. I can hear the movement, and you can see the horse's ears too. They know. And Surreal Love, the closer that, what horse was it? Gray is the New Red, Welland Down and Roy Hill were in there. Some real killers in there. As we got into the last turn, I could see Roy Hill coming. I could see the Gray filly coming, and then I knew Welland Down was right behind them. We're going to be scooting, and I don't know if this guy can handle it. So I just gave him a little room in the last turn. I let them up as close as I could, and I cut him loose. He paced away from them. He didn't dust them or anything. They were all right together, but nobody could get by him. They got to my saddle pad where it would be and no further. And Surreal Love was tremendously good. I let him pace through the turn after, into the backstretch, looked over. We'd 8 lengths on them. Surreal Love for a horse. And there's another horse that was a very mediocre, meager, monetarily speaking, purchase. I think we paid $6,000 or something, maybe less, for Surreal Love. And just got a real slick gait to him, this horse. I was really impressed with him, but more impressed his attitude. Remember, I tell everybody all the time, attitude and work ethic. This horse had it both today. You couple that with this slick gait of this horse, he's got horrible pedigree, right? Nothing on the damn side. I don't know how far his overall ability will take him. He looks some kind of good today. Surreal Love earned spot number 3. Another horse that might surprise you. Could have easily been at number 1, only she did make a break. She made a break and still won the set handily. Put her at number 2 because number 1 deserved it. Number 2, I'm a Lovely Lady. This is a filly I've been telling everybody about. Alan's out there licking his chops right now. I told you guys I'm a Lovely Lady small, but she's durable, she's tough, and she's built like a little Sherman tank. And I saw her make a break. I saw her come again 100 in the last turn. I didn't want to move Won My Heart Hanover till the head of the lane, but I knew, gee, she's trotting really good. I'm going to let her, as soon as I started her out of the hole, you could just feel her grab the bit and she wanted to go. She just loves her work and she's racy. She made a break. And I'm a Lovely Lady had made one earlier in the mile, but she came flying in the last turn, took over the lead commandingly, and drove away. Nothing anybody could do about it. I'm a Lovely Lady was ultra impressive today. Number 2. Number 1 is a horse I told you guys to keep your eye on. I believe he was number 1 on my list the other day also. But today he was smart. Today he behaved, and when I put him in gear, he was all business. Beef and Cheddar. This is a horse that is a brother to Need Your Opinion. Another horse, we joked about it last year, how poorly bred she was, but this is a brother and sister combo. I'm telling you, the sister ended up being a good horse. This colt behaved in behind a horse. If you remember the last video we did, he looked impressive. I think he won his set anyway, but was erratic at the start, acting up. Today, I got away in third or fourth, sat there, he just followed perfectly. I moved him over. He was all business right through the wire. Handily disposed of set number 1. And Beef and Cheddar is a horse, when I look at everybody, sure, we love Surreal Love, look great. I'm a Lovely Lady, look great. All the horses in the top 10, holy chick, that's my girl. I talked about them, they all look great. Nobody looked as good as Beef and Cheddar today. He was impressive. So, that is a top 10 list. That is how it went. I'm going to run through the babies with you just to give you an update today, because we did have almost everybody trained today, and I want to tell you how they all did. We'll be coming back on Friday. The drone is going to be there on Friday. If it's like today, it should be great. Track's a little snowy, so for the ones with flip-flops, might have to cut them some slack, but mostly everybody was fantastic today. So I am going to run through all the horses. There are a couple little scratches for Friday already. Tomorrow, no free lunch, who trained good today, but he was slated to get castrated. He was castrated this afternoon. Italian Grit's going to be castrated tomorrow. Darling Please was sick today. There's no way she's going to be able to go on Friday, and there were a couple other ones that were coughing. Hopefully, they'll be fine for Friday also. And that's that. So I'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about all the babies, what I thought of them today, what went on, and what is in store for them in the next couple of weeks. Talk to you in a minute.